I want to build on Senator Shelby's line of reasoning on non-bank mortgages. Obviously, the IG has issued a report that concludes that Jenny hasn't done enough to respond to the changes in its issuer base. Just to give the context to this, in 2013, banks originated 70% of all new mortgages. This year, non-banks issued 60%, and you see the ads over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So we're really concerned about how that, and talk about things that you should worry about. I think this is something you should worry about. So I just have a couple questions, maybe more open-ended than what they should be. But number one, do you have enough resources to conduct oversight? In terms of volume, do you feel confident that you're properly equipped to handle a portfolio that's 3 times larger than it was in 2007? And what additional resources, if any, would you recommend in order for Jenny to more effectively carry out its oversight, especially in the context that Senator Shelby just talked about, which is that this is an explicit guarantee?
That's right. Thank you very much. So the number one challenge that I have in managing these employees is that we have a pay scale and a hiring process that is different than similar regulators and different than Fannie and Freddie.
How do you fix that?
That would need a legislative solution. So we are in law required to, we have limitations on compensation. Our funds are appropriated, but we can work with that. It's just that we have very talented, technically skilled employees who can go 3 blocks down the street to the FHFA, for $40,000, $50,000 more, and that's happened 3 times since I was senior manager, since I got here. They can go to Fannie or Freddie, which is a totally different set of compensation scales. And so you have they can go to the OCC, they can go to the Fed, who also has MSR, risk management oversight. So these are technical skills, and I have no ability to kind of reward and retain that type of talent.
So that's one thing that we could do is help you retain talent. What else?
Yes.
What else are you going to do to build up the expertise in the agency?
So we have procured a few contracts to begin this process of stress testing our issuers. The procurement process is lengthy. Again, other regulators with similar challenges have some freedoms that we do not have. Not talking about just getting all the approvals and that process itself. It takes a little bit longer as a pure government agency to do that. So there are some legislative solutions, if you're interested, that I'd be happy to share on that. I do want to say that the Ginny folks are incredibly talented and dedicated.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should take any of your comments here to
thank you.
mean that you're working with people who are subpar. I think, and I want to just share Elizabeth's support. I mean, I think you've done a great job since you've been there. We're grateful that you're willing to take this on. Mr. Roisman, one of the things that we've worked on over the years has been small business, and you know that I feel very strongly about small business advocacy within that Securities frame. And I think you mentioned in your comments the Small Business Advocacy Act. We've yet to get a nominee. What can you do to help us to make that happen? Get the appointment confirmed.
Thank you, Senator. I think it's a critically important position at the SEC, and you've said it before, and I agree with it. There's a potential for there to be too small to succeed, and I personally hope that the position will be filled by the time I'm confirmed. But if it's not, I'd be happy to work to try to get that filled as expeditiously as possible.
In Fargo, for example, about 1/3 of our startups identify accessing early stage funding as the greatest hurdle. We have a bill that hopefully within SBA would help get that done. But I think it's critical that you look not only at small business, but you look at small rural business. And so can I have your commitment that when you move over there, that this will be a particular interest of yours and that we can call on you to make sure small businesses are being heard within the SEC?
I'm happy to commit to that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.